Hey everybody, welcome back to Highway Blossoms. Last time we figured out that we need to go to Canyon de Chelly, or we think we need to go to Canyon de Chelly to find the next piece of the treasure. And Mariah might have sparked a little competition in Amber, who was really gung-ho about beating her to it. Either way, treasure hunting seems like a fine distraction to me to get away from your worries, or to not think about your worries or the expenses you have to pay. Which, I don't know if I said this before, but I wonder if Amber's got to pay for funeral expenses for a grandfather or something. That's my guess, but I don't know if that's where the story's going. But that stuff's expensive if it's not already taken care of beforehand. But anyways, we'll find out what's waiting for us on the way to Canyon de Chelly. Arizona's highways are infamously boring. Nothing but hills, up, down, up, down. There's nothing interesting to look at. Both sides of the road are smothered in nondescript shrubs. That depends what highway you're on. There are some beautiful landscapes driving down some highways in Arizona, but I don't know what highway you take to get from Shiprock to Canyon de Chelly. I've never made that trip before. But I would not say all of Arizona's highways are infamously boring. They're some of the more interesting highways I've driven on. It's the part of the country where you just zone out and drive on autopilot. When we finally see a sign for the town of Chelly right next to the canyon, it feels like we're approaching the promised land. Marina looks up from the book she's reading just in time to miss the sign. Was that it? Are we there yet? Nah, 40 miles to go still, so about half an hour. She makes it sound like a popped balloon and goes back to reading. We take an exit in a tiny excuse for a town, one of those places that has a gas station and a few old houses. It's like a monopoly where you buy up all the property you can, even though it's not that great. This is it? Marina repeats her earlier question as I slow down to turn left. Nope, almost. I don't even know what this place is called. She makes the popped balloon noise again, but leaves the book closed. When we finally reach Chelly, it's pretty obvious. This is the first real town we've seen in hours. The outskirts are industrial, dominated by what I assume are factories. A pair of stray dogs lope around the side of the road, hungry and lean. Marina makes a sound of sympathy, pressing her face against the glass as we pass them. Hey, Amber. We're not getting a dog. That's kind of funny. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But they're so cute, and we could dress them up in a bandana and... No way. I've never gotten why people want to dress their pets up like people. It's cute. Marina pouts. I figured she was just joking, but she didn't actually think I would let her get a dog, right? It seems that all is forgiven by the time I pull into a gas station. She's bouncing in her seat with her usual enthusiasm. Or maybe it's her bladder. My second guess must have been correct, because as soon as I shut off the engine, she darts out of the RV and into the store. While she does that, I fuel up. No telling when we'll see the next gas station. Could be 100 miles. And this thing drinks gasoline like a thirsty dog drinks water. By the time I finish, Marina still isn't back, so I lock up and head inside. The store is devoid of other customers. It's unremarkable, with the usual selection of candy chips and overpriced beef jerky. Oh yes, beef jerky is so overpriced in general, especially in gas stations in the middle of nowhere. Oh, but it's so good. I'm not hungry, just passing time. Soon Marina trots out of the bathroom, glancing around. She spots me and heads over. Is there a slushie machine? Because I half expect Marina to want one. Want anything? Duh, let's see. Here we go. I leave her to agonize over the candy bars while I flip through some of the travel brochures beneath the window. There are a couple about Canyon de Chelly, which is our destination just up the road. There are flyers for other Arizona attractions too, including the non-local ones. Of course, there are a few brochures for the Grand Canyon, plus a couple must-see sites in Phoenix, the capital. Ugh, must-see sites in Phoenix? Like what? I hate that city. No offense to anyone who likes Phoenix or is from Phoenix or lives in Phoenix. I just personally am not a fan of that city. There's even an ad for the novelty just called The Thing in Tucson, but that's far out of our way. Okay, I'm ready. I turn around. Marina has a couple king-size candy bars in her hands and a large bottle of Coke tucked under her arm. Girl, you're not gonna have any teeth left to keep eating like that. You seriously need all that? I thought we could share. She gives me her best offended puppy impression. Fine. I still don't want anything, but I can't say no to that. Here, I'm gonna use the bathroom too. Meet you at the car. I place my wallet atop the pallet of candy she's carrying and send her towards the attendant. When I come back out of the bathroom, Marina's still talking to the clerk. There's a bag in her hand, so she must have already finished paying and gotten distracted talking. I join the two of them. Closed off, so only the guided tours are open right now. Marina looks like she's seen a ghost. What's up? I take my wallet from where it's just sitting forgotten on the counter. Dude, this music is really ominous. I'm a little scared. I was just asking about the canyon and the tours and stuff. The clerk nods. Yep, I was saying how if you're here to sightsee, you might have some trouble. A lot of it's closed off because all the kids coming and causing trouble and looking for treasure. Damn, I'm not surprised, but that's frustrating. What isn't closed off? Well, there are still some tours you can go on. Most of them, I think. But you can't do the self-guided ones. Marina looks at me, eyes wide. Clearly she's expecting some solution from me. I just smile at the attendant. Got it, thank you, and lead a dumbstruck Marina out of the store. As I unlock the RV, Marina prances around me. What are we gonna do? Well, I'm gonna take a nap. She stops. Huh? I'm tired, so I'm going to nap for a little bit. I checked one of the pamphlets, and there's a tour at 6:30, so we'll just join that and then sneak off. Like, on our own? Yeah. Her eyes go wide again. Amber, you're a genius. I twist a lock of my hair around my finger and glance away. Her constant compliments are a little embarrassing, especially the stuff that seems obvious to me. Thanks. It's not much of a plan, though. Yeah, but at least it's a plan. I thought we were gonna have to just give up or something. Nah, rules are made to be broken and all that. I feel a bit guilty that we'll be breaking rules specifically put in place because of people like us, but I can safely say that we'll be more careful than the average treasure hunter. Will you? Do you even know what you need to be careful of? Amber, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Canyon de Chelly is another really important place to native people, so. Just picturing Mariah, I can easily see her smashing down ancient ruins in her search. But yeah, wake me up at 5:30, unless you're going to nap too? Nope, I'm not tired anymore, so I'll just read some more. Also, with all that sugar, who needs to nap? You can just buzz on that. Alright, good night. Night-night. I leave her up in the front as I head back to my bed and fall into it. After bunching up my blankets around me, it doesn't take long to fall asleep. I wake up slowly, fighting to keep my eyes open, and in the back of my head, I feel like something is wrong. It takes a minute before I realize I've overslept. It's 5:45. Marina was supposed to wake me up 15 minutes ago. Marina? I call her name, but get no response. Rolling out of bed, I massage my eyes and stumble up towards the front. Of course she's asleep, sprawled out on the dash with her head buried in her arms. It looks like she's been out for a while. Jerking her by the shoulder, I shake her awake. What's up, Amber? Her speech is slurred by sleepiness. I ignore the temptation to make the "not you" joke. How's that book you're reading? It's great. I just put it down to... Oh, that was kind of cute. A look of shock spreads across her face. Mounting horror takes over as she realizes the time. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I was just gonna nap, but then I forgot to set an alarm, to wake me up. Yeah, that's what alarms are for. Freaking out, she hurriedly tries to buckle her seatbelt, failing several times in her frenzy. I pat her on the shoulder as I sit down. It's not even a big deal, but she's so worked up. It's cool, we're not late yet. Ready to go? Marina just nods, staring at the floor. I buckle up and turn the key. The engine roars to life, and I throw it in reverse. I have to crane my neck to make sure I don't run over anyone. Road signs direct us out of town and towards the canyon. After spending so long on the highway, going down these streets with lower speed limits feels restrictive. From the corner of my eye, I watch Marina. She's being abnormally quiet. She fixes her hair, pops her knuckles, and rubs her shoulders, but she doesn't say anything. Finally, I cave. What's wrong with you? Huh? What do you mean? Her tone of voice is stressed. Maybe I'm more intimidating than I think. You're being weird. Super quiet. Oh, I didn't know if you were mad at me or not. What, for falling asleep? She nods. Nah, I'm not mad. Trust me, you'd sure know if I was. I told you it wasn't a big deal, didn't I? You promise? Yeah, I promise. Marina bounces in her seat, immediately cheerier. Okay, cool, 'cause if you were mad at me already, that's a bad sign. A sign of what? That we wouldn't be good partners. You know, treasure hunting buddies? Oh, that's what you meant. Those kinds of partners. Oh, we're partners now, are we? You're the sidekick, right? No way, I'm totally the main character. We're here because of me. You know, she's got a point, Amber. She's got a point. I laugh and she turns away smiling. She's a lot cuter when she smiles. I've been smiling more too, I realize. As I think of that, it starts to make me sad again. Do I really deserve to be smiling right now? Oh, that was really poignant. I feel you, Amber. Hey, Amber. Huh? Like she read my mind, Marina snaps me out of it. Can we listen to Super Crush again? You seriously like that one? Super Crush was one of those groups that Gramps loved to show off to other people because they were so weird. All the members played a different instrument on each album, so it was like a whole other band every time. Yeah, it was different, but in a good way. I think that's what that said. Hold on, back. Different, but in a good way. I got a little too trigger happy there. That's definitely true. With one hand on the steering wheel, I dig around the bin of tapes by my feet. I flick my gaze between that and the road. Eventually, I find the one I'm looking for. It has a Halloween orange case with text that looks like slime. When it starts to play, Marina hums along. She's almost on key. Guess she liked it enough to remember how the songs go. I crank up the volume, earning a grin from Marina. The sound is tinny and distorted at this level. More distorted than usual, but it's almost more fun. Our smiles last all the way until we roll into a nearly empty parking lot. As I turn the volume back down, I can tell she's thinking the same thing I am. Amber? Yeah? Shouldn't there be, other people waiting here? There probably should. What time is it? Marina twists around to check. 6:20? What the hell, did they start early? There are other cars around, but they're all unoccupied. My parking job is hasty, and I take up 2 spaces, but don't bother to correct it. We hurry out of the RV. I almost forget the key in the ignition and have to double back to grab it. Marina's already over at the information desk, probably talking to a ranger. I wonder if that's the Keat Seal ruins in the background. Kind of looks like the Keat Seal ruins. If those are even in Canyon de Chelly, I don't know anymore. Maybe. But then she turns back to me. The despair on her face is visible enough, though it's getting dark. There's no one here. There aren't any lights on inside either. Probably closed at 6. I vaguely recall reading that in a brochure, but I thought there would still be someone around for the tours. Don't panic. I jog back to the RV and unlock it again. Rummaging through the glove box, I pull out the little blue flashlight that Gramps gave me a few years ago. I click it on and off a couple times to make sure that it works. After I lock everything back up again, I join Marina by the unhelpful help desk. She's bouncing on her heels, hands clasped together. Hey, it's alright. Worst comes to worst, we'll just do it tomorrow. But what if someone else finds the treasure tonight? I don't have an answer for that one. Guess we'll just have to catch up then, huh? Turning on the flashlight, I swing the beam around. While there's still some daylight left, it isn't much. Maybe half an hour at the most. Wait, so did the tour start early? It's kind of weird. I'm guessing that's what happened. Catch up to what? The tour group's silly. Even if we're late, they can't have left that long ago. And they'll be stopping a bunch, so we should be able to find them easily. By ourselves? Her voice is almost a squawk, like a surprised parrot. Well, yeah, I don't see anyone else around, do you? I swivel around, illuminating nothing but rocks and bushes. Come on, it'll be fine. It's not like there are going to be bears or mountain lions this close to a parking lot. Those kinds of things live here? If she didn't know that, then what is she afraid of? Good question, Amber. Maybe she's afraid of the dark or something? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. But come on, we're wasting time. Marina whimpers. Then, surprising me, she grabs my hand. Hers is sweaty and warm. I turn and look at her and meet her eyes. It looks like she might cry. It makes me regret being so pushy. We don't have to do it if you don't want to. She shakes her head but clings to me like a kid, her free hand buried in my clothes. If it were brighter out, she'd see my face turn red. No, like I said, if we don't go now, someone else will beat us to it. Just stay close, okay? Yeah, of course. She lets me lead, but doesn't let go of my hand. A large wooden sign marks the start of the trail. So, are you scared of the dark? No answer. But you were fine at Shiprock? That was different. Marina's arm jerks, but she doesn't let go. That was in a town with people and roads and no mountain lions. I don't know if there are mountain lions in that part of Arizona. There could be. Don't quote me on that. There could be mountain lions in that part of Arizona, but they're usually at higher elevations, I think. The temptation to tease her more is strong, but I don't. Every time a bird caws or something makes the brush shake, I feel her flinch a little. Somehow, even this side of her is cute. A little childish, sure, but it's nice to have her rely on me to keep her safe. I don't know, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and it's dark out and things really do go bump in the night and you don't know what they are, it can be pretty frightening. I've had that experience camping where I'll hear like just the wind breeze through a tree and I'll be like, what's that? Oh my god, fucking bear or something. It's scary. It is scary. Not all the time. I love it, but it can have those moments, that feel to it. To take her mind off things, I make small talk. Oh good, are you girls gonna talk about the things you don't want to talk about to each other? 'Cause I'd love to hear what those are. So, what are you gonna do once you're filthy rich from the treasure? Sorry, what? I asked what you'll do with your share of the treasure. Oh, I'm not sure yet. I haven't thought about it. We're out here looking and you don't even have a plan for it? It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. What about you, huh? I don't know either. Huh? See, I'm not... Yeah, but I wasn't planning on looking for it, you know. I haven't spent as much time thinking about it. I glance behind me to see Marina stick out her tongue. I laugh. But, let's see. I definitely need to pay off Gramps' hospital and funeral expenses. Called it! called it! Sorry, I was super excited. I was really hoping that's what it was. I think it would be really... Because that makes sense. Like, if Amber had student loans or some other debt, it wouldn't have connected with the rest of the story as well. But to be like, yeah, funeral expenses, that makes a lot of sense. And it's thematically appropriate. After that, I guess I should probably get the motorhome fixed up. It's not going to break down on us or anything, but it's kind of old. Why not just buy a new one? Hell no. My response comes out snappier than I intended. It's just that it has sentimental value, you know. I'd rather keep that than buy a newer, better car. I grew up in that thing. I could never just replace it. After that, I'd probably just keep doing what I was doing before I met you. And what's that? Wandering. Don't you want to stop wandering sometime? My steps slow a bit. It's an innocent question, but it hits me hard. Not yet, no. I whisper it. Marina catches up next to me, dropping my hand as she does so. At least I'm not the only one without a goal. I poke her in the side and she squirms away a couple feet. Ow! Dork. It's hard to stay sad around her. As we turn around a curve in the road, the tour group comes into view. Just ahead, a cluster of people, most of them armed with flashlights. It's hard to know for sure, but I can see at least a dozen different figures. The tour guide is shining his light up at the rock face, illuminating some designs on it. Everyone has their backs to us. Try to be as sneaky as possible. We want to join up without them noticing, like we've been there the whole time. If anyone notices us show up, they might notice when we leave. Why do we have to join up in the first place? I don't know how to get to the ruins we're looking for. We'll stay with the group until the tour gets there, and then we'll sneak off. Marina nods. Okay, follow my lead, and remember, be as quiet as you can. We creep forward slowly. If someone were to turn around and see us, we'd look pretty suspicious. But nobody does. The lecture on petroglyphs gets their full attention. Marina kicks a rock and I tense up, expecting that to break the spell. But we're close enough now that if I did, it might not matter. We reach the back of the tour group without anyone noticing. I give Marina a thumbs up, which she returns. Anasazi ruins. Some of the Navajo people still call the area home. There's a living community in the canyon who... I'm not too interested hearing about the history of the place, so I turn back to Marina. She's looking up at the pictures too, though her eyes appear glazed over. You know, I have to wonder... I'm really curious about the writers for this game. What if one of them had a background in archaeology, or just knows Arizona really well, which I assume they obviously know Arizona pretty well, but there are some really nice tidbits in here that make me wonder if someone has an archaeology background or an interest in archaeology who worked on this game, because I've been pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I might be a little offended playing this game, and so far I've been actually really pleased with how well thought out it is when it comes to the cultural history and politics of the Southwest, specifically Arizona at this point. When she catches me staring, she blinks and then smiles. I smile back, though I must look like an idiot just watching her instead of the lecture. After a minute, the guide's speech concludes and we start to walk down the trail. Much to my dismay, before I can say anything to Marina, the woman in front of us turns around. Isn't that just crazy? Huh? It takes a second for me to understand that she's talking to me. She fits just about every stereotype of redneck, from the huge hat on her head to the baby strap to her chest. She'd probably be attractive and not for the layers of sunscreen coating her face. Even though it's nearly nighttime, they make her look like a ghost. I said, isn't it just crazy? What he was saying about those Indians and how they used to communicate with each other. Oh, yeah. Even if I'd wanted to talk to her, I still have no idea what the guide had said. They were just so darn clever. Really, what makes you wonder how they all ended up dying out, huh? Oh my god, that tour guide is not doing a good job if you still think the quote-unquote Indians have all died out. Are you from the East Coast or something? Because that's like typical East Coast mentality. Not Arizona. Even if you're an Arizona redneck, you probably know some Native American people, even if you live in a pretty white area. Anyways, this is like a classic example of kind of the ignorance and the naivete you hear about Native Americans and their culture. This is a really interesting commentary on that. Again, just like at Shiprock, I really enjoy the kind of commentary on the naivete of Native people's culture and history in this country. Very well done. Very well done, game. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are still alive, and like some of them live here in this canyon. Thank you, Amber. You're educated, you get it. I had heard that much at least, but apparently not everyone did. You also probably have met Native people before, Amber. Seriously, this woman's probably from the East Coast, not from Arizona. For a second, the woman looks at me like I'm crazy, but then she bursts out laughing. Sorry, you're absolutely right. I was thinking of them Aztecs down in Mexico. Her laugh is more like a bray. She sounds like a farm animal. In my head, I keep hoping she'll turn back around and leave us alone. But we're not so lucky. She keeps on chatting us up as we follow the trail. I'm self-conscious about how noisy she's being compared to the low noise level of the others. Say, is that where the name Texas comes from? From Aztec? Before I can answer, she started shouting at someone else. Howard! Hey, Howard, come over here! By now, nearly everyone is looking at us. Ma'am, can you please keep your voice down? Oops, sorry. She apologizes loudly. So much for staying inconspicuous. Howard makes his way over. He looks rather defeated, face drooping and shoulders sagging. I figure he's the woman's husband. Yes, dear. I was just talking to this girl here about history, and I was wondering, does the name Texas have anything to do with the Aztecs, since the words are kinda similar? I don't think so. Huh, go figure. She cackles again. Besides her, Howard sighs. For his sake, I hope her family is loaded or something. Every time she laughs, the baby on her chest bounces, but the lucky kid sleeps right through it all. Maybe he's used to this. Anyway, I must have left my manners back in Wisconsin. My name's Linda, and this is my husband, Howard. Okay, so she's from the Midwest. I'm not as familiar with culture of the Midwest, but I was like, I don't know, if you're a redneck from Arizona, even a redneck from Arizona or the Southwest has probably met a native person once or twice at least. But other parts of the country, it's kind of different, and which maybe the Midwest too. This little champ right here, she thrusts herself and thus the baby towards me, is Dino. Dino. I bet you it's Dino. Dino doesn't make sense. Dino, ain't that just the cutest name? I just grunt in response. I'm trying to see around her up to where the guide is alternating between shooting Linda death glares and trying to narrate the walk. If he said anything useful about the canyon in the past couple minutes, I've missed it entirely. Glancing over at Marina, who has pulled away a couple feet, it looks like she's enjoying my torture and struggling silence. Tears have formed at the corners of her eyes, glittering in the dying light. They're the good kind of tears, the kind from laughing too much. Her hand is smooshed over her mouth, and she's shaking with effort at staying silent. There's no way I can let her get away with that, especially since I need to get closer to the front now. I grab her arm and tug her over into Linda's line of sight. I'm Jane. The enthusiasm in my voice is so forced. And this is my friend Lacey. Those are great names. I use fake names just to be safe. Marina limply shakes Linda's hand, which has grabbed hers. The mirth has vanished from Marina's face. Good. Again, really enjoy Marina's playful side. It's really nice to see that she's not so serious all the time, and that she has her points of pride and her points of like, hey, I'm gonna be tortured. Don't think you're not either, Marina. Nice to meet you. Linda pumps her arm like a guillotine, grinning broadly, yet still managing to walk. It's so good to see young people taking an interest in nature and history and all that. Are y'all from around here? We're originally from Tennessee, see, but moved to Wisconsin, and... Having been properly introduced, I leave Marina to suffer through the family history. I shift away and walk ahead, passing by most of the tour groups so I can hear the guide. For a while, he talks about the wildlife and history of the park. After a couple minutes, though, the lessons become more relevant. We'll be coming up to the Mummy Cave ruins here in just a little while. That's one of the better-known sites in the canyon. 700 years ago, it was a bustling Puebloan village. We can't get too close to the ruins, so unfortunately it might be a little too late to really see them clearly tonight. While the Mummy Cave itself hasn't ever been open to the public. That's all I need to know, so I start to slip back towards Marina, who is still a conversational hostage. Linda notices me approaching. Oh, Jane, there you are. I was just telling Lacey about one of the cows I helped birth when I was younger. I'm not sure how the conversation went from introduction to cow birth in such a short span of time, but I'm not curious enough to ask. When I rejoin Marina, she mouths 2 words. Save me. I don't know how to get out of this one. Annoyance aside, it'd be impossible to slip away with Linda's attention on us. But it seems we're in luck. As we go around another bend in the road, something more interesting than Marina and me comes into view. Oh, Howard, look! This is it! This is those mummy ruins I was telling you about. So I guess it's not Keat Seal. I don't even know if Keat Seal is in Canyon de Chelly. That actually might be Navajo National Monument. I don't know. I mix them up all the time. Because like Amber said, there's so many flippin' ruins in Arizona. It's hard to keep track of where all of them are. Linda elbows forward, moving ahead of us. You girls make sure you get a good spot. You're going to want to see this even if it's dark out. She forges ahead, her husband trailing dutifully. As he passes, I think I hear him say sorry, though I'm not certain. Once they're out of earshot, Marina makes a sound like a train letting out steam. Oh my God, I thought I was going to explode. My ears or my head or my brain or something. Saw you laughing. I figured it wasn't fair if I was the only one who suffered. Ugh, I'd take it all back if I could. Serious though, first she was talking about herself, then about her kid, then about her childhood, and then she started talking about growing up on a farm. Somehow she ended up going on about cows having babies and how messy it all is. I don't even know. What, you're not interested in that stuff? Ew, no, gross, gross, gross. She wrinkles up her face as she says it. I giggle, but then turn serious real fast. Okay, but listen. Because it's dark, the group probably isn't going to stop to look at the Mummy Cave ruins for very long, so we'll have to wait until we can sneak away again, and then go over there ourselves. How far away are they? No idea. I can't see from here. Just follow my lead again. Got it. We've been at the very back of the group the entire time. The people right in front of us are much less interested in us than Linda was, so I don't think anyone will notice if we go missing. When we reach a railing, the guide stops to point out the ruins. They're across a small valley a couple 100 yards away. In the darkness, it's almost impossible to see them. They're just a dark smudge against the even darker backdrop of a mountain. Marina and I are a few yards away from the group, too. I pretend to inspect something on a rock, though there's nothing there. As the short speech ends and the guide starts to lead everyone on again, I dart behind a rock and crouch down. Marina quickly follows. I can see her start to say something, but I cut my hand over her mouth before she can get a word out. Silently, I shake my head. Marina nods twice, so I uncover her face. In my head, I count to 60. Once a minute has passed, I peel myself away from the rock and stand back up. We should be safe now. Marina's face lights up and she claps her hands. I notice that she's taken out the journal page with the hiding spot again. That was so cool. It was like something out of a video game where you just sneak away right in front of everyone. I guess so, but we still can't be noisy. They're not gonna be that far away. No flashlights either. This close up, I can see her face fall at that. Don't worry, I'll be right beside you. Are we just going to hop the fence and walk over there? Unless you have any better ideas. What if they catch us? Then they'll throw us out. You're not just gonna get thrown out, you're probably gonna get fined. And yeah, you might get arrested. Nah, that'd be, yeah, nah, Amber, you don't know. You get fined, and then you have more expenses to pay, and then, yeah, you might also get arrested. Again, you are breaking, you could potentially be accused of breaking a major law here. If you're caught, quote-unquote, desecrating archaeological resources, which, not your intention, but, you know, it could be interpreted that way. Yeah, exactly. I say that, although I don't actually know. Okay. The uncertainty in her voice is obvious. I grab the paper from her hands and stuff it into my pocket. Let's go. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that they'll notice us missing. Things just got really tense. And I think this is a good place to stop. So next time we'll find out what they find in the mummy room. In the mummy, was it the mummy cave ruins? I think. Is it the mummy ruins or the mummy cave ruins? It doesn't matter. We're gonna find out what they find out next time. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.